Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective, where you get a little bit of something and a whole lot of everything. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. I know, still sounding worse, but still feeling better. Woohoo. As for yesterday, I am so sorry. I was clearing out my watch history on YouTube, and I guess I accidentally played the video while I was trying to transfer it somewhere else. And boy, I heard myself cough, and I was like, oh my God, these poor people. What if they're listening with earphones? I am so sorry. I am so sorry. Did not mean to blow out your eardrums. Did not mean to scare the hell out of you when I decided to do my interpretation of a seal or a walrus, whichever. But, yeah. Oops. So anyways, there were two decks I did not get to yesterday. Good morning, Muddy. There were two decks I did not get to yesterday, and yesterday it was supposed to be like an oracle reading, but it turned into something more. It turned into something a little more personal, deep, insightful, all those things that I think really kind of help us think and help us move forward in our thinking, and things that might help us through our healing journey. So I decided I'm going to give the last two decks a shot today and a chance. All right. And I don't know why, but the magical fairies feel like they're pulling something. Don't worry. This is not going to become one of the sites where they do this, where the people are really good at doing this. This is just something I do when I don't know what else to do. And I don't want to just pull a random card, and I don't want to just talk at you about, nothing, right? Because, I know it's a little bit of something, a whole lot of everything, and I'm going to start doing random things. I like that. I don't think everything has to be like a personal learning thing. There's so many things that I learned that I just think are wonderful, and I just want to share them. And that's initially what I had started out doing when I was doing just these short videos. Like I actually called it Random Ramblings, and I called it Random Ramblings. This is before the Daily Vibe became the Aloha Perspective, but it was just random things. Like I would just read something and then I would share it because it was just something so wonderful. So what started out as an Aloha Perspective is, I don't know, it's just going to be a little bit of everything, or a little bit of something and a whole lot of everything, which has been my blog motto. Well, my old blog, not my new one, but my blog motto for years and years and years. And because it really is, that's my brain is just random, and that's how it works. But of course, if we do the oracles today, we have to go back through the guidelines. So, like I said, I'm going to give the other two decks a little bit of love, because yesterday was, again, so insightful, so insightful. Not just from me sharing all my personal stuff. Like I said, for anyone who hasn't seen the video, you can find it on YouTube under the Aloha Perspective. It was too long for TikTok, and of course you can find it on Blue Sky and Threads and Twitter. But unfortunately, nothing ever, I don't know, Instagram keeps changing their rules on me. So one minute you can post hour-long videos, next minute you can't. So I don't know what the hell. But anyways, you can find them there. So, that being said, let's get started. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. So when I share my personal stuff, I'm not sitting here. I just really want to preface it with this. Because I know there are people out there actually just trying to I don't want attention. I don't want your pity, because I don't need that. I got attention and I got pity without asking for it. And honestly, it felt so good to get attention at a time when I was hurting so deeply when I was a lot younger, that it wasn't exactly the attention I needed. And, it was just kind of a bunch of people just kind of patting you on the back going, oh, you're going to be okay. You're going to be fine. You're going to be this. Until the brave people really kind of stepped into my support circle and said, you need to do this. Okay, you need to stop dicking around and stop doing this. And I'm not saying that's other people. Okay, this is what I needed. I needed a swift kick in the hiney, because I was too afraid to do everything. And because I had leaned into all of this, ooh, look, people care. And so, we all fall into that trap, and it's okay. It's okay to have people that just want to soothe your soul, but you don't need yes people. You need people who are going to guide you, who are going to soothe you, who are going to take your hand and say, I have been there. Let me walk you through. Okay, just like that story, right, about the man in the well and all the people that come to save him until the man who's been in his shoes jumps in and says, I know how to get out. Or woman, or person, whoever. You see my point. My point is that, this is probably coming out all wrong, but it is coming out. So, whatever. However it's going to come out, it's going to come out. Good morning, older sibling. But yeah, that's not what I need, and that's not what I wanted, or that's not what I needed, and that's not what I wanted. Now I'm just sharing it because, I've seen other people share their stories, and I realized how much they helped me, in a very personal part of my life. And I've shared about that before too, but we're not going to make it about that. We're going to just make it about how when we share our story, somewhere in there is something somebody can latch onto, something somebody can use for their own healing purposes, their own healing journeys. You all know I believe in spirit guides and, the universe and God and a bunch of other gods. But, thank you, Muddy. But, that's so sweet. Thank you. But, whew, I know, right? She said it's coming out perfectly. But until now, right? But anyways, I believe in those things. And the reason I say that is because sometimes when I'm in a certain place, or I'm really kind of deep in thought about one thing, and then it kind of slips my mind, I'll see a movie, I'll see a TV show, I'll hear a song, I'll read a book, or even an article of somebody just going, yeah, and this, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, you have this epiphany, this mild epiphany in your head going, that's exactly it. And then for a brief moment, you don't feel alone. And then all of a sudden you feel empowered to go, oh, hey, wait, if they can do it, I can do it. And it's not because somebody else did it. It's because you're not alone anymore. Because, even though we all know, I think, in our subconscious that we're not alone, that other people have been through the things that we've been through, I think we don't want to think about it because it was so horrible. Whatever it is that you've been through, or whatever pain you're going through, that you don't want to think that other people are feeling the same way. Not because you're being selfish about it, but because, you don't want other people to feel that way. So this is one of the long way around, long story longer. This is why I share my stuff. This is why I put my feelings on my sleeve, and why I open up a little bit more than anyone really has to. No one has to do this. No one has told me to do this. Talking apparently is a gift to me. I've been doing it since I'm pretty sure I came out of the womb. La, 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 la. But it was a gift until I said that. So anyways, no, I'm just kidding. But really, sorry, my brain is still fuzzy. So, this isn't anything that doesn't happen normally. It's just happening a lot more right now because my brain is super fuzzy. But that's why I put myself out there. That's why I put what I'm going through, or what I've been through, or, the hell I've been through sometimes, because, it's not just about being relatable, but the show is a perspective, and this is my perspective, and it's an Aloha perspective because it just sounded like a great name to use. And when you really stop and think about it, Aloha is a feeling. It's not just a word. It's not just hello, goodbye, I love you, or love, or whatever. It is a feeling. Live happy, live through your grief, live through love, live through your fears. Aloha is that hug that you need, and it wraps itself around you in whatever way you need it to wrap itself around you, whether it's to shelter you from an emotional storm, or to help, pull you through to the next moment. It's a beautiful word, and no. But it's a beautiful word, and I really can't explain it any differently than that. It's something to hold on to. And sometimes a perspective of somebody that we may not know, or that we may know, is something that we need to hang on to help us move into that next moment, to help us get through whatever it is that we are going through. So, so yeah, let's get rolling. I know that was the long version, but you know what? Like I said, a little bit of something, whole lot of everything. Random ramblings. So Oracle guidelines. I have to read these again because you never know who's going to pop on and watch it that's never seen it before. And I like I said, if I don't read these things, me trying to explain it just goes all over the place. So do not worry where the message is coming from. I only work from a good place. So if you're seeing this, there's a reason you are here. So don't leave. Don't leave. You know, you never know what you're going to hear. Yesterday, I feel like somebody turned off the oracles and thought, oh God, it's this again. You know, I don't believe in this. You don't have to believe in it. But the messages we seem to get coming through, whether you believe that they're being sent from somewhere or just flying out of my head, the messages we get yesterday was very insightful. And I feel like it was more of a perspective than it was an oracle reading. So if you were watching this now and then you turned back, go back and watch it because there's something in there that might have been there for you. So anyways, whoever you are, all right. Do not make a card fit your question if it does not resonate with you. Forcing an outcome or an answer not meant for you can cause unnecessary stress and overthinking. Yes, I wrote all of these. Number 3, I will give you the message I receive and the message from the book because someone took the time to write it all and put it together. And we honor other people's work because that's very important. Number 4, angels, God, heaven, etc. might come up. Feel free to insert your higher power or the universe. This will help the flow of the reading without stopping to clarify. That being said, let's get to it. I know the fairies were screaming at me this morning, so we're gonna go to the fairy deck. The fairy deck was just looking at me like, are you going to ignore me today? No. Fairy deck, you took up the most time yesterday. And if you believe in fairies, that's pretty much what they do. Oh, look, be yourself. Be yourself. Right out of the deck. Right out of the chute, right? Be yourself. The situation calls for you to be your authentic self, which is the basis for your personal power. I feel like this is validation for just now. Me being my authentic self. Sorry, hot flash. I'm just going to add on to that. I want to talk and make this a point to anybody at any age, but specifically people younger than me. And I'm only saying this specifically to people younger than me because don't take the amount of time it took me to get where I'm at now. Believe in yourself. Don't look for outside validation. Don't wait for someone to give you an attaboy, attagirl, there you go. You know, just if you're proud of yourself, go do your shit. Okay? Go do whatever it is that you want to do. Be who you were born to be, not who somebody else thinks you should be. And I'm not trying to promote bad behavior because, don't do anything illegal. I'm going to tell you that right now. Or Auntie Shelly is going to come looking for you, all right? Nobody wants Auntie Shell looking for them. My nephews know I can give the death stare. They love me, and I'm grateful for that because sometimes they think I'm mad and it's just my resting bitch face, but I can't help it. I'm a Capricorn. We come by it naturally. But anyways, please don't wait so long to believe in who you are. If you're my age, if you're older than me, and you still haven't gotten there, just do it. Just do it. It's going to be the greatest thing you will ever discover in your entire life. People will say, oh, you're being narcissistic. Self-love is not narcissism. Self-love is a chosen behavior. And it's not about fawning over yourself in the mirror. I mean, yeah, we all do that, right? We all want to look our best sometimes when we're going out into the world. Or we just want to, I feel fancy today, And I mean, look at my hair. I broke a clip in my hair this morning. My hair's that damn thick. But I was just kind of like, okay, well, it doesn't matter as long as I'm in time for my show. I'll go get more clips today. But it was my last good one too. So, I mean, my last medium one. So it's like, but it's like, no, but seriously, be who you're meant to be. If you feel magical today, go be magical. If you feel like walking out of the house with no makeup on, walk out of the house with no makeup on. Be true to who you are. Be true to who you are. That's what's important. That's what's special about you, is being your authentic you. And for so many years, I would not allow myself to shine. But then, my friends would help me to shine, and, they'd kind of flip that switch every so often, and they'd be like, there you are. And it's like, yeah, here I am. And then all of a sudden, someone turned the floodlight off. But yeah, please don't be afraid to be yourself. All right. There's nobody else like you. Okay. Like I said, even if you're an identical twin, there is nobody else like you. I know a set of identical twins who couldn't be more different. The only thing similar about them is they look alike. All right. Because they're identical, but they're very different in personality, and their mother made sure of that. And, their mother made absolute sure that was, how it was going to be, that they were going to develop their own personalities. I mean, I'm sure they share those twin things, that twin tuition, but it's, their careers are very different. Their schooling was very different. They're magical kids. They're magical kids. And because of that, their brother, got a bit of that from them as well. And he's his own self. So, autumn. So I don't know what this means, but in the fall season, everything comes together and you reap wonderful harvests of abundance. Ta-da! Seriously? Autumn? We gotta wait? It's only spring. Oh, and look, summer. Everything that you're asking for becomes yours in the summertime. Thank you, fairies. They heard me complain and they complied with summer. I'm afraid to take the next card out. Vegetarian and get some exercises. Now they're just being mean. I feel like I asked for that. Dietary change. I'm telling you. Okay, maybe the fairies were yelling at me today because, they're not wrong. All right, so here's one. Goodbye to the old, hello to the new. All right, now we're moving on. We're moving on to the dragons and the unicorns. So thank you, my fairy friends. I know I'm going to get, oh my God, I'm going to get a tongue lashing later. If any of you know who Poppy is, Poppy's coming for me. Oh, okay. I can hear it in my head now. Keep smiling, kid, because that ain't going to be funny. But I love her. She's very sarcastic, but that's what makes her amazing. So, and I appreciate every little bit of Poppy. So, Ooh, that one wanted to come out. All right, I'm only gonna oh, shit. I was like, I'm only gonna shuffle 3 times, and that's it. And then 3 cards popped out as I said that. I said 3, and 3 popped out. So all right. Now I know why we had to come back, because these cards are long. All right, these cards are like legit long. But let's just mix them up. All right, I have no idea what they are either. See, you guys can see more than I can see. But even though I'm looking right at the camera, I can kind of see it. Okay, well, Sammy says she's a vegetarian, so that's good. But, well, you know what, since you're a vegetarian, let's just read the vegetarian book really quick. Maybe she's telling me to ask you for help. So, I don't want to be a vegetarian. I like my meat, but I probably should eat more vegetables. I am so bad at eating vegetables. It's not, but the weird thing is, I love a good salad. I love a good salad, but if I'm sitting next to a burger and I'm sitting next to a salad, I'm not picking the salad. If I'm sitting next to a chocolate cake and I'm sitting next to a salad, I'm not picking the salad. I might eat it after, but yeah, that's not going to be my first choice. And I just like the taste of things, and I know that sounds dumb because salads can be very tasty. They can be. And I know vegetarians don't just eat salads. I know they eat a lot of different things. I know some of them will do the black bean burgers, which, oh my God, they are so good. If you've never had a black bean burger, you totally got to try those. Those are amazing. And yeah, from time to time, I actually do have a veggie burger when I go out. It just depends on my mood, it just depends on my mood. But I think because I ate so many vegetables growing up, and because, maybe that's it. I was so regimented because of my heart. My mom really kind of watched everything I ate that, once I got free will, they freed Willie. No, I'm not a whale, but I'm sorry. That just came out wrong. I was just like, woo, like I'm free. I can eat whatever I want and no one can stop me. And that's not good. But, Free Willy. I meant Free Willy the whale because, I don't know. It's such an old movie now. I don't know if anyone remembers it. So anyways, Vegetarian, a new way of eating gives you more energy, greater health, clarity, and stronger manifestation abilities. This video is going to get me into so much trouble. The fairies know that fresh garden food is the healthiest and most natural way to live. You're guided to follow the fairies' wisdom and eat lots of vegetables, fruits, legumes, and nuts. I don't like peas, legumes. They're squishy. And maybe that's it too with vegetables. I have this weird thing. I don't know what you call it. Trait, pattern. I don't like squishy food. Squishy food makes me gag. I know, which is weird because I love mashed potatoes. But I mean like squishy vegetables. Like I can eat fresh green beans, but if you give me green beans out of a can, I'm going to gag. I don't like cooked spinach unless it's in spinach dip because the texture thing, that's it. I have a texture issue. Makes me gag. But, and it's not always about, the vegetable itself. I mean, like cilantro, right? And thank you to 23andMe for this one, because I always hated cilantro and everyone's all, but why? It's so great and blah, blah, blah. And then it asked me on one of the questionnaires, when you eat cilantro, does it taste like dish soap? And I'm like, that's the taste that it tastes like, And I was like, how do they know? But apparently there's something in my DNA that just makes it taste like, I'm sucking down a bottle of dish soap. So, how can I say? Anyways, eat your fruits, nuts. Oh, I love nuts. Especially the organic variety. My brain. This card validates your feelings to eat a more vegetarian or even a vegan diet. The shift in your eating patterns will yield positive changes such as clearer thinking, increased psychic abilities, and more energy. Ask the fairies to assist you with this change, and they'll gladly do so, including helping your own garden to yield a bumper crop of produce. That would be awesome. A health or behavioral concern is dietary related. I know. Eliminate chemicals from your diet. I like chemicals. Muddy says, I don't like overcooked veggies either, but I do like the cooked spinach. You know what? I love cooked carrot. I love steamed carrots. Like the squishier the better. That's what I'm saying. It's weird. It's a weird texture thing. Like some are okay, some are not. Like I love squash, right? And it's squishy, but who knows? Who knows? Who knows? And yet I will eat peas in fried rice. I'll eat peas on other things. Like I don't like olives either, but I'll eat olives on a pizza. See, right? Weird. But if I try to eat it, it's by itself. So I admit I do have to retry a pickle. I don't know if it was because when I was a kid I didn't like the vinegar or what, but I promised older sibling I would retry a really good crunchy pickle. So anyways, transition to a raw food diet. Encourage your children to eat more organic, fresh fruits and vegetables. And if you don't want to be a vegetarian, you can at least incorporate more vegetables into your life, Shelley Marie. So, but I'm not lying. I do love a good salad. One of my favorites is a tossed Cobb salad. And we should talk about that one day, right? I'm going to look up the history of the Cobb salad because I think we know it. I think it came from the Brown Derby. The legend is, okay, I'll just tell you now. The legend is that it came from a man who, I believe it was the Brown Derby, who owned the Brown Derby. A director came in late at night one night and he was hungry, but the kitchen had already closed. So he said to him, and he's all like, you know what, I'll just whip you together a salad. And he had the eggs, the lettuce, all the different meats and everything. He just it was basically just a hodgepodge of food, and he threw it into the Cobb salad, tossed it, and it became a thing. So whether that's true or not, I don't know. I'm sure it is to some degree. Whether it, whatever it is, it's a great story and I love it. And, the Brown Derby was a significant landmark in LA history and Hollywood history. And I don't know if it still exists, but they did create one in Hollywood Disney in Florida at Disney World, because we did go to that one. I never had the opportunity to go to the real one, but I did get to go to that one. So anyways, flowerful, sweet and gentle power. Sweet and gentle power. You know what? We're going to be going through this all day, that I think tomorrow or Thursday is going to end up being about the dragons, because we're not going to have time for the dragons today. Whoops. Sorry. As I go sideways. So Sammy says she's the opposite on carrots. She wants some crunchy. It's crazy how weird all of our tastes are. I do like crunchy carrots. I mean, believe it or not, I do like crunchy carrots. Not a big fan of celery, but I think that's pretty much because it doesn't taste like anything. I do like the crunchiness, but I never really understood the point of eating celery with peanut butter. I'd rather eat it with an apple. An apple and peanut butter is good. And my cousin told me if you're having a really sweet tooth, add like dark chocolate chips to the peanut butter. And I know it. I know. Older sibling says it no longer exists in LA. I do know that. That I know it no longer exists in LA. But it does, yeah, it went the way of a lot of Hollywood landmarks. Like sibling was telling me about a place called Chasen's, and there was another place from years, I think the 50s. I can't remember what it is, the Comedy Store now, but it became a lot of different things. Maybe that's where Chasen's was. Was that where Chasen's was? I don't know. She would know, but she knows. And they had the special, not on the menu chili. I think it was not on the menu chili. But the brown derby was just, there was something special about that, and I've read about it, and I read about it in the books before I met older siblings. So even just going to the fake brown derby was still cool for me. And yes, I had the Cobb salad there. So see, I do eat vegetables. But anyways, flowerful, sweet and gentle power. Flower power, sibling. And Muddy, my two flower power girls. So let's see. Sweet and gentle power. Maybe they're saying kindness, right? You can kill people with kindness. It is the borage. Borage? Borage. Okay, just making sure I saw that right. The gorgeous purple-blue borage flower is also known as star flower because of its 5 distinct points. A hardy herb, its honey-like flavoring is often used in... Son of a bitch. Often used in salads or as a garnish in cocktails. They even try to put fruit in your damn drinks, okay? Or vegetables in your drinks. Despite its sweet taste and appearance on a metaphysical level, borage is a warrior plant. Yeah, fostering courage, strength, and confidence. Take that. Ciros. That was Ciros, right? I apologize. See, I told you. She is like the LA historian. So anyways, this unicorn appears when the time is right to fight an unjust situation. Do not turn a blind eye or let something unfair happen because you've been led to believe that's just the way things are. The situation requires action. However, Flowerful does not condone violence or bitterness or the need to be right at any cost. It means using your words to negotiate tricky situations. It means respect and kindness and working at an energetic level to produce the best outcome for everyone. This unicorn encourages speaking up when you or others have been treated unjustly. Life isn't always fair, but being Life isn't always fair, but being treated with prejudice can leave people feeling undervalued, unimportant, and if they don't belong. This card appears when you can do something about this mistreatment instead of just accepting it as part of life. Your actions can stop unfair behavior from happening again. Your bravery may even set a precedent to ensure fairness, equality, and inclusiveness in an organization or business. The keywords for this card are kindness, respect, loyalty, and honesty. Always choose these qualities above all others when dealing with unfairness. Use your power in a sweet and gentle way to resolve conflict. Be rational, factual, and calm when stating your case, and be persistent. Ask your guides and angels for advice on the best way to handle an unfair or unjust situation and be assured that help is on the way. So there you go. Just ask for help, Yeah, I know, right? I knew, it's so funny because I didn't see her type this and I didn't see the message until just now, but I'm all like, I bet Sammy and older sibling are just laughing on the other side of this. And she says, I'm laughing now. Veggie and fruits are coming in strong. They are. I'm probably going to dream about like veggie and fruits tonight. And they're just going to be like coming at me with swords and shields going, eat your vegetables. I know. They're coming in hot. So anyways, the unicorns offer you, so for those of you who choose to partake, the unicorns offer you this little ritual to help you use your power. Take a piece of paper and write down everything that is unfair about your current situation. Next, state the ideal resolution to this situation, one that will help all involved. Say, I wish this situation to be resolved in a sweet and gentle way and for the good of everyone. So mote it be, or so make it be, whichever way you choose. Light a candle and burn the piece of paper, picturing the smoke reaching up to your guides and angels that they might transform any setbacks and injustice. Finish the spell by burning a sage smudge stick to help let go of any residual negative energies. Be careful with the sage, okay? Because they do what I call leak. And by leaking, I mean sometimes little bits of ash fall off. I can't tell you because, yeah, look, I was saging one day and ta-da, look what happened. That's right. Those two little spots because I had it folded. So, I know, and this was last year's dragon thingy for my glasses. Oh, Sammy keeps losing her connection. Stop it. Okay. All right. Maybe we can ask the fairies to come in and help with that. So anyways, if you've got something difficult going on right now, they've given you a way to move through it. Don't move through it in anger. Okay. Because moving through it in anger, you're just going to say mean things. It's going to end up being in a fight and you more than likely will not get your way. Because people are just going to be like, I'm shutting you down. But when we come at people with kindness, when we come at people saying, look, you know what, la la la, whatever your issue is, you will probably get a lot further, right? You catch more flies with honey. So, you know, I know it's hard, but even the hedgerow says, let it go. Okay, let it go. So whatever's going to happen, let it go. Ooh, peppermint. Sorry, squirrel. But anyways, all souls. Wow, that is one funky looking unicorn. That one looks like he is just like, yeah, he ate too many veggies or smoked too many veggies. Oh, he smoked the sage. But anyways, wow. You know what I love is somewhere out there, somebody owns this deck and that is their favorite card. You know, and I love the thought of that. So anyways, life is meant to be enjoyed. And it is, right? We talk about that all the time. That, you know, don't just sit back and, you know, just kind of like, this is why I'm always telling people, just be yourself, you know. Be yourself. Be who you want to be. And, you know, if you have things to heal, heal them. Don't be afraid. I know it's scary. It's not going to be that easy. Just keep pushing through. Okay? Just keep pushing through. But, because you will reach the other side, but healing takes perseverance. And, you know, and that could be your unresolved situation. So face it with kindness, even as much as it might have hurt. You don't have to nurture what happened to you, but you have to nurture the child inside of you that might have been harmed. Or you might have to nurture that person inside of you that might have been harmed by whatever is going on in your life, whatever hurt you. Whatever harmed you, whatever is making you feel the way you're feeling right now. And sometimes when we acknowledge that pain, we are able to move through it a little bit. I don't know if faster is the right word because everybody takes healing at their own pace, but you're able to move through. Okay. So all souls, life is meant to be enjoyed. Sweet and rich goji berries, plump little red jewels are considered a superfood, and they taste amazing when they're covered in chocolate. Yes, I said that. At least I'm eating fruit. So anyways, another name for this little fruit is the wolfberry. Ooh, that sounds cool. They have been used in Chinese medicine for thousands of years to improve liver health. On a metaphysical level, the goji berry encourages longevity, vitality, and youth. You know, they have a brand out there. God, now I got to go to the store and get some because that just sounds so good right now. But they're chocolate covered goji berries. And they're so good. They are so good. I know I'm not promoting that. You know what? I'm not going to sit here and promote health. Okay. Because hello, I struggle with keeping myself healthy, but I do know it is something that is necessary. So I probably should incorporate a little more greenery into my life, not just the ones sitting outside the window staring at me going, why would you want to eat us? See, I'm doing a service. I am. Here, but you eat meat, I know. Anyways, There's a saying in Italy. Look, I'm sorry. There's a saying in Italy, La dolce vita, the good life. And it's a philosophy of living a life full of pleasure and joy. Ooh, I like that. We each get about 100 years on this earth if we are lucky. So why not make the most of it? In the big scheme of things, this is such a short amount of time. After all, our life on earth is meant to be a temporary experience. This unicorn appears with a message from those who have gone before us. Life is meant to be enjoyed. Yes, dark chocolate is good for you. And I'll be honest with you. I know I stopped right in the middle of that because I saw that come up and it said chocolate. But I'll be honest with you. I'm not a big milk chocolate fan. I was when I was a kid. But then when I was also still a kid, when I was about 10, I discovered Hershey's Special Dark. And dude, those would be the ones that I would trade all my friends for. You have a Mr. Good bar little thingy. You have a little Hershey bar. It's like, I hate the Special Darks. I come home with my collection of Special Darks. I also have a hankering for fancier chocolate. I love Swiss chocolate. I remember when I was still I think I was in 8th grade or something like that. And my family and I went to San Francisco for my older cousin's wedding. And I remember we had gone to some market, but I had picked up a package of Lindt chocolate, and it's Swiss, I believe, or something. And I just sat there eating it so delicately, like I was fancy or something. Godiva's okay. I know people are sitting there going to go, what? Godiva? But it's expensive. Expensive doesn't make it better. Some people may think it does, but I think it's just the love you put into it. I love Cadbury. Cadbury and Ghirardelli are my all-time 2 favorites. They're my ultimate favorites, 100%. So, older siblings saw my face when we found real Cadbury on the ship. That's right. I bought 2 bars and I still have one hoarding. I'm hoarding one back here because when I say real Cadbury, here in the United States, Hershey, bamboozled, in my opinion, Cadbury and took their trademark. And now they put shit out with their chocolate. And honestly, it's not the same. It doesn't taste the same. It's Hershey chocolate used in their packaging. And so if you're at the store, if you are a Cadbury fanatic like myself, look at the thing. If it says Hershey, I wouldn't buy it. I'm sorry, Hershey, but you make enough money. You don't need me plugging some nefarious act. And, they'll sit there and say, well, they let their trademark lapse. It was their trademark. And you did not help that. You could have been a good business partner and say, hey, let's team up or something. But no, instead you just sold their trademark. It's for their packaging and you put out different stuff. And I can tell the difference. And also, if you have British shops around you, you can find real Cadbury. They will. And it's a little more expensive, but you know what? It is so worth it. And Ghirardelli is just the bomb. And that comes from San Francisco. So there you go. Sammy says there's a company called Skinny something. We'll have to look up the name. That would have been a cool name, Skinny something, that makes dark chocolate covered everything. Ooh, dark chocolate covered peanut butter cups? Seriously. See, we've moved from vegetables to chocolate. But dark chocolate is good for you, and it hits your little sensors. So, you could have 2 pieces of dark chocolate. Dove dark chocolate is very good, and they give you little sweet messages, right? You eat one of those very slowly. Just eat it very slowly, and it is going to kill that little I need sweet sensor in your head. Trust me, I've done that, and I've used it. Anyways, going back to this, the physicality of the human body is designed to experience many wonderful things here on this planet. All Souls reminds you that deprivation, stinginess, denial, and self-judgment are counterproductive and to foster a more carefree, joyful, and playful energy. Do not deny yourself. Many forms of self-abnegation, such as restrictive or punishing regimes, working long hours, or saying yes to things you hate, may be a type of approval-seeking behavior based on guilt or fear of judgment. No one is getting off this earth alive, and many metaphysical texts state that humans take themselves far too seriously. Relax and start to do things you truly love with your life, even if it means spending a little more time and money on long cherished dreams. There you go. The unicorn magic for this one. Ooh, you can make a charm if you want. The unicorns bring you a recipe for a little love charm, but this is a self-love charm and a reminder to be kinder to yourself. 1 tablespoon of goji berries, 1 quartz crystal, a 20 centimeter square cobalt blue cloth. Well, that's very specific, isn't it? 20 centimeters square. 1 orange ribbon and 3 drops of orange essential oil. You know, the funny thing is I have all of that except for the goji berries and the cobalt blue cloth. Place the goji berries and rose quartz into the cloth and tie with orange ribbon. Anoint the pouch with the orange essential oil. Keep this charm under the pillow and it will remind you to do things that you love more often, or just practice self-love. You know, this little pouch, if you don't want to put it under your pillow because it does contain the essential oils, keep it in a place that will remind you, pin it into your bathroom somewhere or tape it to your mirror and remind yourself, hey, I deserve blah, blah, blah. Or, I deserve self-love. I am worthy of self-love. Self-love is a trait you work for. And I work on mine every day because it's not easy. It is absolutely not easy. And it's sometimes hard to maintain that. But if you are really, really willing to, especially when you're on a healing journey of any sort, or if you're grieving, self-love can be very, very important. Okay? It's like self-care but with a little more oomph to it, like a personal hug for yourself. All right? And remember, self-care is not selfish. It is necessary. Just like self-love is not selfish. It is necessary. Because we shouldn't be living for someone else. It's good to live for other people. But what I mean is, you shouldn't be giving your heart and soul to people if they don't care and they don't respect what you're bringing to the table. And that's where self-love comes in, because you start to say, you know what? I think I deserve this, that, or the other. And, I deserve to be around people that are going to love me, that are going to care about me. Sorry. There was a gap. So anyways, this is just flying out of my mouth, so I don't know who needed to hear that, but it is okay to live for other people. Parents live for their children. Children live for their parents. They live for their friends. They live for their loved ones. They live for their significant other. And that's okay, as long as you don't lose yourself in it. Don't lose yourself and forget who you are while you're doing for everybody else, okay? And if they offer to do something for you, just let them. Okay, you do not own the sole rights to being the only one who can do for others. You got to let people do things for you too. And I know it's very hard. But the next one, pipe dream. Dreams become reality. Yeah, baby. I keep seeing a lot of that lately. I feel like before I hit summer, this is like the year of Shelley. It has started out rough. It has started out awkward. Even the trip was a bit awkward and rough. But still had a great time. But even though it left me with a parting gift of a cold. But yeah, it was still fun. It was still amazing being on the ocean. It's like, having coffee outside when it's super cold and, nothing but water. And I love the ocean. But yeah, I keep seeing this. So, and if you keep seeing those signs too, just embrace it, believe it, Oh, hi, Auntie Willow. Oh, she's so sweet. I love you too. Thank you. But yeah, so anyways, pipe dream. So like I said, tomorrow we'll probably get back to just self-care, but because my brain is not braining, that's why we're doing the oracles today. So, anyway, because they help me. I don't have to think. The ficus tree is an enduring evergreen, also known as a weeping fig. This popular houseplant is easy to maintain and brings green life to any space. Its natural habitat is the rainforest and is considered a sacred tree in East and Southeast Asia, bridging the gap between human and the divine. On a metaphysical level, the ficus tree inspires the inner peace that comes from strong self-belief and a greater understanding of life's challenges. Did I not just talk about that? This is validation, kids. This is somebody saying, ooh, look, we're going to drive this point home. We're going to nail this to the wall, because this is about self-love and a strong self-belief and a greater understanding that life can be challenging. when you move through a healing journey, that doesn't mean life gets easier. It just means you look at it a little bit differently and go, hey, you know what? I can make it through that. And that doesn't mean we're not going to fall apart. We're humans. No matter how much healing you do, there still may be those triggers that come up from time to time. But chances are you are going to either deal with them, in a new way, or you're going to look at them and go, okay, look, you know what? This is hard and I need to move through this in a different way. But you'll probably move through it faster. So just give yourself that chance. Give yourself just give yourself that chance. Okay. So a pipe dream is a term usually used for an unobtainable fantasy. The saying originated in the late 1800s and alludes to the fantastical visions opium smokers experienced. Oh, that makes sense now. However, in this instant, dreams that seem impossible could become a reality. Fortune is on your side. Build your vision and start putting practical measures into place, because this unicorn symbolizes positive outcomes for outlandish ideas and projects. Perhaps you have been living under the shadow and weight of others' expectations, and it's time to let that heaviness go. Maybe you are experiencing judgment from people who think they know better. Recognize that you now have the freedom to live your own life. You have gained a higher understanding of who you are and why you are here. And despite the naysayers, you need to give yourself permission to follow your pipe dreams. This unicorn appears when you need to hold on to a strong sense of self-belief and chase your wildest dreams. Just go for it. Go for it. Don't step on people to get there. Don't make bad choices and decisions to do it. Okay, if you have to find a practical way to make the dreams come true, make the dreams come true. But don't just sit on it. I know. I'm thinking the same thing. And all the people that I know are going, yeah, really? How about all that writing that you do? I know. And I hear you loud and clear. The unicorn suggests obtaining a ficus tree. Seriously? Okay, look, I'm all for these cards and I love this, but I mean, the hell do you find a ficus tree? Use your intuition to find its perfect place in your home. Look after it, nurture it, watch it grow. Ficus like partial light, warmth, and damp soil. They appreciate plant food once a month and the occasional outing in the fresh rain. This will be your magic tree and a symbol of magnificent possibilities. As the tree grows and thrives, so too will your dreams. You might even like to adorn it with special charms and symbols that represent a successful endeavor. That's just mean, because I cannot keep anything alive. But I get it. I get its purpose. Whoa! We went right from the pipe dream to the shroom. Well. Oh, I'm sorry. I know. Think outside the box. You know what? I have to tell you. So, it says the shroom. And I'm going to share something I probably shouldn't share. But I have tried that. That's right. When I was in my early 20s, a guy I dated said, oh, you should try it. And I was like, boy, you know what? I felt like I turned into Socrates for like 2 hours. I was just so, I don't know, philosophical, and it was just kind of like, and it was the most mellow thing I'd ever done in my life. I mean, it was like, not like a Cheech and Chong kind of mellow. All right. That's a whole different kind of mellow. But I mean, it was just kind of like, you just kind of, I don't know, like the whole world looks like it literally changes colors, and it's just brighter and vibrant. And you're just like, what if, all these what ifs, or, and maybe that's not philosophy. I don't know. But it felt like like I was Plato or Socrates for like 5 seconds. And it was a very profound feeling. And I did it twice, maybe 3 times. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. It was at least 30 years ago. But yeah, it is not something I ever regretted doing. I don't advise it. Okay. Because, yeah, don't do as I say, but, or don't do as I do as I say, whatever the saying is. I'm not a parent, and that's usually a parent saying, but, I can't stop you, obviously, but I'm not going to encourage it, because everybody has to make their own choices. And, that was just me. And it was a very different time in my life. So, and I never really did those things, so I guess on the very rare occasion that I did, maybe it just hit different. I don't know. Drinking was always the strongest thing I ever did. But yeah, but every so often, you take an adventure somewhere else. So, anyways, think outside the box. The sky blue mushroom. I probably shouldn't have shared that, but you know what? Everything ends up on the internet. At least I'm not in a picture hung upside down with my shirt flipped over my head, whatever. And just stuff that we've done in our lives, and I'm not ashamed of it. So, at first glance, I didn't show you. That's like a fierce mushroom, like, yeah. I can't tell if it looks like it's dancing, or is that its tail, or I don't know. It's doing something. At first glance, the sky blue mushroom looks like an unearthly being, a bright luminous blue against the green forest background. In fact, it looks like something out of Alice in Wonderland. The fungus is native to New Zealand and some parts of India. It is not considered edible, but bizarrely, no one seems to know if it is toxic either. While it is highly decorative, any other valuable qualities are yet to be discovered. Is it because it's blue? I mean, do people, they... I apologize. They say that it's not edible, but if someone has tried it, then wouldn't they know if it's toxic or not? I don't know. Anyway, the unique and extraordinary beauty of the sky blue mushroom encourages us to entertain unique and extraordinary ideas. Think outside the box. For every problem, there's a solution. Specifically, for every environmental problem created by humans, there is a resolution. We just need to find it by using ingenuity and resourcefulness. Instead of complaining or getting angry and full of despair about the Earth's environmental challenges, resolve to do something about it. Be part of the key that unlocks incredible results. The Shroom Unicorn encourages clever solutions that will help to protect the Earth and sustain human life. The first step is to tap into the natural world by communing with plants and nature. Ask for guidance from Mother Earth. This action will lead you to research the practicalities and start generating ideas. Within nature, there are secrets and hidden clues that make human life easier, as well as protecting the environment. The two need not be mutually exclusive. Wonderful environmental initiatives are already starting to happen. The world needs your optimism, innovation, and action. I agree. I like that this is the card that we're finishing up with, because it isn't very important for us to save this planet. It's the only one we got, I know they're doing moon explorations because it's the next step to Mars, but, instead of destroying this planet and looking for new planets to inhabit, maybe we should try to fix this one too. Okay, I'm all for space exploration. You guys know I'm a total space nerd, but we do need to be better, If you're out and about and you're throwing away your bottle, throw it in the blue bin, throw it in the recycle bin. It's not going to be that hard. Don't say, well, I don't want to throw it in there because someone told me that I had to. Just do it, please. I'm asking you. Because here's the thing. You're going to throw it in the regular trash, and that means that someone's going to have to weed it out. And I'm not kidding. I'm not sure if every place does this, but I'm pretty sure they do. And not every place. Sometimes when you throw shit in the garbage, it doesn't go anywhere except into a landfill where it just sits forever and ever and ever. And, but, there are, I know at Disneyland, and I don't know if this is a secret or not. So if it is, I'm sorry, but I did get a glimpse behind the scenes once. And, when we were performing there, and I was just, the cast member, I was walking with the cast member in the back because I was bringing up all the kids. And I remember just saying, oh, what are they doing? Because they were just taking all the trash and emptying it onto conveyor belts. And she's all, oh, we weed out she's all, a lot of people don't use the recycle bins, so we weed out that. And then on top of that, they're weeding out the composting. So Disneyland actually, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what the person was telling me, but for sure, I definitely saw them weeding out the plastic. And then what they do is they recycle all this stuff. And then, I have heard and I've read in my Disney magazines that, the money they get, they just donate it. Same with the money that are in the fountains. that you find all over the park. They gather it and they donate it like once a year. So even the train is biofuel. So if it is biofuel, is biodiesel, I believe. They found a way to, so I remember one time I was sitting on the train and I was near the conductor and I said, why am I craving French fries? And she's all, oh, it's probably the train. But she didn't elaborate. But then I got my D23 magazine and they were talking about how they use biofuels and part of it is like a cooking oil type of thing. So it was not a mistake that I was smelling French fries. But she did kind of smile, so I knew she knew. And maybe she was waiting for me to ask more, but I was just like, oh, okay, Disney's being environmental. But yeah, so as Sammy says, let's take care of, and fix where we live. 100%, absolutely. I know people who are just like, well, I don't have time for that. It's like, well, you should make time for that. Well, it's not going to bother me because I'll be long gone by the time that happens. I don't care, okay? I got nieces and nephews, and I would like them to live on an earth that isn't in a dome. All right? That doesn't have to be safeguarded and protected. That's kind of why I'm mad that a lot of the EPA protections in the United States were removed with this current administration, because the ozone layer was actually being proven to heal itself, and the reason we have EPAs is because some companies just, like to do whatever the fuck they want to do. And excuse my language, but Mother Earth is very important to me. In high school, my friends and I started the Planet Awareness Club. And I admit, I fall by the wayside. I don't always recycle when I should, and I do my best to do so. But I do care about this planet, and I do care about the people on it. And I do not like when people are trying to destroy it. And to all our younger environmentalists, what was the one girl's Greta? Was it Greta Thunberg? I can't remember her name. I apologize for butchering your name. But boy, when she was traveling, all over the place trying to talk to people, I'm sure she still is. I mean, she was just a teenager. But to be that environmentally aware at such a young age, and it gives me hope. It really gives me hope, and it makes me so proud of these generations that came after a lot of us, because they see it and they know it, and they're trying to teach everybody. And people will sit there and rake them over the coals. You should be in school. You should be this. You should be that. But they care, because what's the point of going to school if you're not going to have a school in like 50 years? So take care of the environment. It is not that hard to separate your recyclables from your other stuff. Please, just do it for Mother Earth. All right, before she gives us COVID again, so and shuts down the world for another year. But anyways, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. I felt like I was a little more on target yesterday than I was today. But tomorrow we'll do the dragons, or Thursday, because tomorrow we might do self-care. I think we need some self-care soon, or we'll just shift self-care to self-care Thursday. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? But anyways, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. St. Muddy, thank you so much for popping on. I appreciate you immensely. You can catch me across the social media board. I'll be back here tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Time, Facebook Live. All lives are public under Shelley Marie Lucas. Have a wonderful, wonderful day to my aunt, to my older sibling, and to my Muddy. Thank you all so much for popping on. And to everybody who's watching this later, I thank you, and I appreciate all of you. Have a wonderful day.